Welcome back. I anticipate a low view count for tonight's review. A, there's only the 4 games, and B, everybody's still buzzing about the trade deadline. Now, I'm going to say at the start, the Dodonov situation, I'm going to talk about that tomorrow because it feels like that is a video on the Vegas Golden Knights that needs to be done again. And it's a situation that just it doesn't reflect well on Vegas's trades and how they conduct things. And we've talked about that before. So I will talk about tonight's games right now. I'm doing up the preview board for tomorrow, obviously, and then tomorrow I'll make the time to discuss the fallout from the deadline for Vegas, and I'll do some other fallout from the deadline videos as well. All right. So for tonight's review, we're going to start off right now with Boston and Montreal. So it's Swayman versus Allen in this one. Early power play for the Bruins. Really strong penalty kill by Montreal. That did kill it off. I thought Montreal's penalty kill was good tonight. Suzuki has a net feed that's defended. Evans is denied. The Habs had some momentum there. Lazar's denied from in close. The Habs rush. Marchand then goes to the box. The Habs get a power play. It's killed off, and Marchand out of the box. He helps to pressure, and he gets the goal from Howla and Clifton at 9:21. Bruins then get a power play. That's killed off. Anderson's denied on a turnover, and there was a late push by the Habs. So while the shots were lopsided in favor of the Bruins, I thought the Habs had a good period, but they're down by 1. Second period, early edge for the Bruins. Pizzetta has a hit on Grzelcyk that draws some cheers. Drouin was denied on a break. There's a press by the Bruins at 7.5 minutes, but Savard would score from Romanov and Byron at 8:49. That was a nice goal, considering it's only his second of the season. Not bad. Petrie has a blast that's blocked then as the Habs press. A much better period for them in the second period, I thought. There's a power play for the Habs. That's killed off. Swayman Snow Angels on a Habs opportunity. Works out for him there. Riley with a rush chance, that saved. The more Swayman does that, the more people are going to say, Tim Thomas? So it's not. But anyways, Caulfield's then denied on a rush. 40.4 seconds left. The Bruins get a power play. Marchand's denied at the horn. If Allen doesn't catch that one, I think it's a good goal. So we go to the third period, and 1 minute and 13 seconds in, while that power play is still going on, there's a turnover, which Coyle was kind of responsible for. Coyle didn't have a great game. Armia scores the shorthanded marker at 1:13 on a breakaway. Bruins are out of sync. There's some turnovers going on at this point, too. But they would fight their way through it. DeBrusk has a rush chance that's saved. There's a post then for Schöneman. Habs have some momentum at that point. McAvoy has a shot that's blocked. The Bruins get a power play at 9:59. There's a post for Pastrnak. Marchand was denied. Then there's a shorthanded chance for Dvorak. That was defended. That's killed off. The shots are 11-6 for the Bruins with 6.5 minutes left. The weird thing is that according to the app, Montreal only had 5 shots in the third period. So they had -1 shot in the final 6.5 minutes of the game. I don't know. DeBrusk gets shaken up, but he stays on the bench. Habs press with 3.5 minutes left, but the puck goes the other way. Clifton would score from Smith and Coyle at 17:01. It's a tie game. The Habs press for an answer. Evans, McAvoy have a little dance and a hug out of it, and the Bruins get a power play. So that's the thing. And then we go to overtime. Habs control in the faceoff. Suzuki loses it to Marchand. There's a rush opportunity, and Marchand scores from Howla at 34 seconds. Boston comes out with a victory. They make it work. They were trailing with 3 minutes left. They score with 2:59 left, and they score in overtime. And then Howla and Ullmark and Swayman have the hug they do after the game. They showed that. I've noticed that's starting to get more attention now as the games go on. So Boston does salvage a victory here. They go to 39-19-5 with the overtime win. Montreal 17-36-10 with the loss. Your shots: 14-8 Boston in the first, 15-14 Montreal in the second, 17-5 Boston in the third. Boston gets the only shot of the overtime. Final shots: 46-28 Boston. The Bruins go 0 for 4 on the power play. Montreal goes 0 for 2. Hits 26-19 for Boston. Swayman saves 26 out of 28. Really good game for him. Good game for Allen as well. 43 saves and 46 shots. So pretty good night overall. All right, moving along. Minnesota at home against the Vegas Golden Knights. So it's Thompson versus Talbot. Fleury's the backup. How much does that just... I mean, I get it. And I think it's great that Minnesota flew him in to make sure he was the backup for the game. It's a shame he wasn't the starter. And I get it. You know, it's a brand new team. You don't want to just be throwing him in there, but it's against Vegas, right? So, post for Kulikov is the Wild press. The shots are 3-1 in their favor, 3.5 minutes in. Kolasar with a wraparound. That's saved and held. And then at 5:43 on Minnesota's fourth shot, they score, and it's Delorier. He scores from Duhaime and Jost. So, for Minnesota fans, do you like Delorier yet? Because you should. And I like Delorier myself. This is why I've said he'd be welcome on any team I cheer for. Howden then has a net feed that's defended. Fiala scores, but it's waved off. Clearly, the whistle had sounded before he shot that puck. We end up with 4-on-4 because there was a bunch of knock it off going on at the center ice position. So, with that going on in the neutral zone, the ref blows the whistle. Vegas gets a power play. That's killed off. Delorier nearly adds another, but after the first period, it's 1-0 Minnesota. Second period, early press by the Wild. Fiala has a rush chance that's denied. Vegas presses, and 2.5-minute shifts for the Wild players. Their defense, in that case, ended up on the ice for more than 3 minutes. Vegas could not take advantage of that. Hutton has a shot tipped wide. Kolasar was denied. Marchessault, wrap around for him. That was saved. Vegas presses at 7 minutes. The shots are 10-3 for Vegas 9 minutes into this. But then the momentum shifts, right? Minnesota gets power play. That's killed off. There's a near miss for Merrill as the Wild press. But Minnesota's committing a lot of turnovers as well. So while they do even up the shots in the second half of that period, you can also see them giving up the puck. Strong puck pressure by Vegas as well, though. So it's still 1-0 going into the third. Early Vegas power play. That's killed off. The Wild had some momentum after that. Hartman with a net feed that wouldn't go. The shots are only 2 apiece at 5.5 minutes, but at 5:46, on a turnover, Dumba gets it. So Minnesota had pressure going. Vegas gets the puck, and instead of getting it out, it goes right to Dumba, and he puts it in the net. Wild then draw a power play. That was killed off. The Wild press after. Thompson saves there. Another really good game for Logan Thompson tonight. Eichel with a net feed. That's defended. Kaprizov fans on one, and then there was a near miss for Zuccarello. Goalie pull with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Greenway misses the empty net goal from the Vegas blue line. 1:38 left. Vegas calls a timeout. Carlson was robbed in the final minute. And then the empty net goal. Hartman hits the net from Foligno at 19:53. That makes your score 3-0. That's your final. Minnesota goes to 36-20-4. Vegas drops to 34-27-4. Your shots 15-6 Minnesota in the first. 13-10 Vegas in the second, 11-9 Minnesota in the third. Final shots 36-28 for Minnesota. Power plays, both teams 0 for 2. Hits 34-32 for Minnesota. Thompson saves 33 out of 35. Again, he was very good. Talbot saves all 28 shots for his 26th career shutout. So, yeah, Talbot, new goalie as the backup, suddenly has a really good game. So this is one of those things where you can look at it and say, this is good. Having that competition in net really helps. Not that Kakkonen was bad by any stretch, but I mean, it's Marc-Andre Fleury, right? So impressive game. And now for Vegas, they move on to Winnipeg tomorrow, a team that they really need to beat if they're going to keep their playoff spot. Of course, Dallas has got something to say about that playoff spot. Vancouver has an outside chance at saying something about that playoff spot. But anyways, we'll move on. Next up, Colorado at home against Edmonton. This was a really entertaining game. Smith versus Kemper in this one. Cassian's denied from in close. The shots are 4-3 for the Oilers at 3.5 minutes. Hyman has a chance that's blocked. McKinnon then had a rush chance that's saved. There's a power play for the Oilers. Too many Avalanche on the ice. Yamamoto can't bury one. McDavid shoots wide. The Avs do kill it off. They get a power play shortly after that, and they score on it. It's Rantanen from McKinnon and Kadri at 12:42. Good three-way pass. And when scoring first before this game, Colorado 33-2-4. So 39 times they had scored first before this game. 40 times now they've scored first. We are, 63 games into their season. So that's a pretty good record. And it shows that Colorado starts on time almost all of the time, which tells you Jared Bednar is very good at keeping his team ready. So Kadri gets shaken up. Fans call a penalty that the referee does not. 2:10 left. The Avs do get another power play. There's a near miss for Nichushkin. That was killed off by Edmonton. So we go to the second period. Oilers press. They're kept to the outside, but eventually they tie it up. It's Kyler Yamamoto from Draisaitl and McDavid at 4:07, and that was during a delayed 4-minute power play. So, this is the first time I've seen this happen in a game that I can remember anyways. And I'm old, so it's possible it happens all the time and I forget. But, yeah, it was a delayed 4-minute call, so since they scored, it became a 2-minute penalty instead. I thought, that's interesting. So, that makes total sense. So we end up with 38 seconds of 4-on-4 as the Oilers take a penalty, and then there's an Avs power play, and they score on it. And it's Rantanen again from Makar and Nichushkin at 6:24. So Makar continues to just get a ton of points. And that one deflected off Nurse and went in. And then at 9:01, Evander Kane answers from Yamamoto, so that makes the score 2-2. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Taves has chances. There's a chance that's saved. The Oilers rush after. Hyman comes out from behind the net, fires one high. Oilers had some momentum, also getting some good offensive zone time. McKinnon defended in the slot. There's 6+ minutes without a whistle. Really good flow to this game. 2:31 left. The Avs get their 4th power play. The Oilers kill it off. We go to the 3rd period. Early jump for the Avs, which is not unusual because the Avs are very good in the 3rd period. McLeod has a rush chance that's saved. Hyman and Draisaitl had chances that were denied. There's a press by the Oilers at 5 minutes. The Oilers press again at 9 minutes. They were really trying to steal this one on the road. 6:53 left. The Avs get their 5th power play. Makar has a shot that deflects wide. McKinnon has one that's blocked. The Oilers kill that off. The Avs press with 3 minutes left. Some really tight checking late as both teams try to protect that 1 point at least. And so we end up going overtime. The Avs controlling the faceoff. Nichushkin can't bury one. McDavid has a rush chance that's defended. Nurse loses his helmet and leaves the ice, which seemed to kind of throw off the Oilers' defense. So the Avs rush, and McKinnon scores from Makar at 52 seconds. Colorado wins this one 3-2 in overtime. They go to 45-13-5, 95 points already. For the Oilers, 35-23-5, nothing to hang their heads about in this one. They performed very well against arguably the best team in the league. I say arguably because there are at least 3 other teams we could make the argument for. Your shots, 11-10 for Colorado in the first, 6 apiece in the second, 11-9 Colorado in the third, and in the overtime, all 3 shots belong to Colorado. Final shots, 31-25 in favor of Colorado. Power plays, Edmonton 0 for 2, Colorado 2 for 5. Your hits, 26-25 Colorado. Smith saves 28 out of 31. I thought he played very well. Kemper, also solid, 23 saves on 25 shots. And it's funny because I've suddenly started hearing about Kemper, and well, why not Kemper for the Vezina? He's been playing very well this second half of the season. I do think he's going to get his share of votes, especially if he keeps winning games like this. So, anyways, that being said, we're going to go ahead and move along to the final game of the night, which was Nashville, and Philip Forsberg in against the Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks who sold, but I thought they played well tonight. So it's Saros versus Gibson, early chances for the Ducks. The shots are 5-0, Anaheim at 2.5 minutes, so wake up, Nashville. Power play for the Ducks, that's killed off. We then get a fight between Jeannot and Carrick. It's the first of 2 fights Carrick has on the night. Good tilt. And then Grant, he scores from Drysdale and Zegras at 9:18. So the Ducks then press with 8 minutes left, and it looks like the Ducks might be capable of knocking off Nashville. McCarron says there's a goal. However, it was not in the net, so not a goal. Ducks have a 3-on-2 that's defended, but then Yossi scores from Tomasino and Cousins at 16:48. Roman Yossi's having a historic season. So we're in the midst of what is a historic season for him scoring-wise. You've got Cale Makar having a great year, and Hedman's had a great year for Tampa too. I do not envy the people who are going to vote on the Norris Trophy this year. And yes, Adam Fox, Ranger fans will jump into that immediately with, what about Fox? Exactly, the defending Norris Trophy winner. So good second half of the period for the Preds. I thought they even up the shots. They had a good time of it, and so we go to the second period. Early press by Anaheim. The Predators get a power play. Cousins ends up with a 4-minute call. Initially, they made it 2, but they did change it to 4. And Johansson scores from Forsberg and Granlund at 3:02. So when I say Cousins gets 4, it means they were calling 2, and he just kept showing them, I'm bleeding, and made it a 4-minute call. So Johansson scores during the first 2 minutes. The Ducks do kill the other minor off, but the shots are 7-1 Preds at 6 minutes. It looks like they're taking over the game. Duchesne has a rush chance fired wide. Shattenkirk has a blast that's blocked, but they do tie it up. It's Troy Terry with his 30th of the year, and he joins a very small group of players in Anaheim history with 30 goals. From Shattenkirk and Zegras at 11:26. So suddenly it's tied at 2. And that was during a delayed penalty as well. Mayhew with a net feed, near miss on that. Comtois fires high on a rush. The Ducks press with 6.5 minutes left. With 3.5 minutes left, the Ducks get a power play. That's killed off. Mayhew drew, I think they said he drew all of the power plays for Anaheim, all 4 of them. So he did take a penalty in the third, but if he keeps drawing penalties like that, that's a pretty important stat to have. So third period, the Ducks have a 3-on-2 that goes offside. Forsberg would end up scoring at 1:45 seconds. Preds get a power play. They score on that as well. It is Duchesne from Forsberg and Granlund at 3:08. So suddenly it is 4-2 in favor of Nashville. It's just that quick. Nashville's that dangerous offensively, and Forsberg's playing great. Every time he has a game like this, his asking price is going up. So the Ducks get a power play. Again, Mayhew draws that. That's killed off. Saros has a skate issue, so Riddick has to go in. And what was nice was Riddick really stalled for time. So Saros leaves, and you can see Riddick kind of sitting there. And, all right, I'll get my glove on. I'll get my blocker on. Because he knows Saros is going back to get his skate fixed. If I can just delay this, then I don't have to worry about being there too long. He can come back in and jump in the net. Riddick does go in, though. Mayhew draws another Ducks power play. The Preds killed that off relatively easily. Saros would come back in as well. Grant would end up scoring, though, after the power play's over from Shattenkirk and Fowler at 10:13. That he buries that on the rebound after the end of that power play. And then with 8:59 left, the Preds get a power play, and that's where Mayhew takes the penalty, and Nashville scores on it. It's Duchesne from Forsberg and Yossi at 11:23. So that's the fourth point of the night for Forsberg. 7:27 left, or 7:22 left, I should say. That there's another power play for Nashville. Post for Yossi, that one's killed off. They do kill pull the goalie. They don't kill the goalie. That's frowned upon. Don't do that. They pull the goaltender with 2 minutes and 25 seconds left. They'd been trying to get Gibson out since about a minute before that. And the empty net goal is Forsberg. He gets the two goals to go with his 3 assists from Johansson and Duchesne, who also had very good nights at 17:57. And then to celebrate, Borowiecki drops the gloves with Carrick on the next play. So Connor Carrick, or Sam Carrick, I should say, sorry, with 2 fights tonight. And Nashville ends up winning this one 6-3. They go to 37-22-4. Anaheim 27-27-11. And I keep hearing people say, oh, the East is going to be so tough to come out of. The West is very physical. The West teams may not have the same level of points, and they may not be as good at getting wins at the same rate as the teams in the East, but this is going to be brutal. Coming out of the Central, there's going to be some really banged up, bruised up teams. I'm not sure with the Pacific. I don't think it's as much of a bruising division, but Nashville, St. Louis, Minnesota, these teams are going to be very tough to get through. Oh, and Colorado? Yeah, they didn't add McDermott because he's a good-looking guy. So the shots, not to say he's a bad-looking guy at all, really. So your shots are 10 apiece in the first, 12-10 Nashville in the second, 9 apiece in the third. Final shots 31-29 Nashville. Your power plays 3 for 5 for the Nashville Predators, 0 for 4 for Anaheim. So the special teams that were in Anaheim's favor early in the season have turned against them late. It's not a big deal. They can, rearm in the offseason. I think they will. The things will turn around for Anaheim. Your hits 25-20 for Nashville. Saros saves 25 out of 28. In the 44 seconds Riddick's in the net, he did save a shot. So kudos to Riddick for that. You don't get any warm-ups, so that's kudos to him for that. Gibson, 25 saves on 30 shots at the other end. And again, Nashville, in a position where they're trying to make that drive for, they hope, second in the division. And for Anaheim, after selling off at the deadline, I would expect results like this, especially if Dodonov doesn't end up joining the team. That's a goal scorer that they could use, who apparently doesn't want to join the team. Or at the very least, he doesn't like how the trade went down. That's a topic for tomorrow. For tonight, we're done. Let me know your thoughts regarding these games in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.